What is going on, guys? I'm sitting here with Ruben. What did you do this weekend, bro?
I didn't finish my finals match in the 3v3 in Brazil because my teammates won.
Oh, you're the best.
Shout out Kamal. We got Haizum. We got Gabe. We got Fetty. We got Pat. Pat's sleeping.
Shout out to Pac. He's not here right now, but
Hani.
teammate. Shout out to Hani. He was a big inspiration on the deck choice. Shout out to Ferdella. He was as well. Shout out to Polly. Shout out to everyone in this room. Everyone's crazy. Been grinding for the dub. We finally got it. More to come. Let's get into the deck profile.
And we got this nice trophy. Don't forget that.
So, best field center in the game.
Where's your prize card?
A prize card. Oh wait, yeah, it's in the bag.
Don't forget the. We got the. Hey yo,
Yo, behind the pass.
when does the 3v3 end? Teamwork is crazy.
Come on. So, now we can start the deck profile. 3 black dragons, 1 red MD, and then 3 saves. So like this is the normal summon engine of the deck. You need to max out on them because we're playing over 40. 6 normal summons is fine because like sometimes you normal summon Tracer, and then drawing them in duplicates is not terrible because you can pitch this off Ravine and just add Lubellion or other cards you'll see in the deck.
Slow down.
Sorry, bro.
It's being too fast for the people.
So we play 2 Tracer, 2 Recharge.
You gotta remember, this is people that watch my content, so they're used to this.
In ADHD, right?
You can watch it at 0.5 speed, right?
1 louder, 3 quick launch, and boost sector. So like this is all you need for the rocket engine. I really didn't want to play Tracer, and I had cut it during testing in the week. Or not Tracer, Recharger. But Hani and Kamal convinced me to put it back in because the second target comes up a lot. Breaking boards when you need just an additional monster and when you draw the Recharger. And in the grind game, if you've already used it to resolve the Tracer again, it's really important.
And tell them not to play Caliber, bro.
No, Caliber sucks. You need 2 Recharger because when you get a Rise Harder and they banish your Recharger, you're going to be sick.
Yeah, let's go.
That's exactly what's going to happen. So then this for the Chaos Engine, white, black, obviously, Levy, and CED. This card's crazy. You have to play this card. It's just 2 extenders going into a board. It's one of the best Magma adds during your opponent's end phase when you've already played because you'll have cards in your advantage zone and then you can bring it back. It also can bait disruptions because it just sends, and that's really good into the format right now, especially to clear the Unchained boards. Like, sending their cards is really big since we don't play Zeus.
Back to 2.0.
Then 3 Chaos Space to search all those Chaos cards.
And then back to 0.5 speed.
The best Chaos card, 3 Lubellion. Shout out to the 3 different people that let me win. Shout out to Joey, shout out to Sniba, and shout out to Shaheen.
We got the Dragon Balls.
Without you, I clearly could not have made it this far. And then those cards, so my friends search their friends. So this is Hani, Kamal, Chris, and then we got Pat and Gabe over here. So,
thank God I'm a Magnemite.
But to be honest, all of them were broken. You need Druis Worm. It's so good into like Unchained specifically because like the Send Disruption is really good versus their board. Being able to drop Magnema and then search the Druis Worm to drop it on their turn or at least force a disruption is really important. You can even just like tribute summon forward and it applies pressure versus their board, which is insane. You only want to play 1-on-1 because Bystials aren't insane versus every matchup like Cash. They're decent versus Pearly, but they can stop you by using Yeep in the graveyard, which some of my opponents did not know they could do, which is crazy. But yeah, so you only want to play 3 Magma because it's the best one, and these are the best utility ones. The Foolish effect comes up a lot. And then the 2 spells. I decided to play the Trap card because this deck doesn't have a lot of spot removal, so you need the Trap card to out just random things. Spell card's the best one, so you always start with the spell like everyone knows because once they out the spell, you get the Trap, and the Trap gets you back to the spell. So you never go Trap first, it's just incorrect. Everyone should know that. And then last engine requirement, Ravine. I don't know how many cards that is, but then these are the tech cards or non-engine cards. So for hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Nib. We play Nib because it blows out the Unchained deck and it blows out the Cash deck when they play into it, and most people are playing into it. Besides Fetty. Fetty's the only person that doesn't play into this card. He knows what he's doing. Because he cooked me in 10 minutes. So, but this card's broken. Like, it helped me win a lot of the Cash matchups that I played. It was really good versus Unchained as well. I played against Sword, so I nibbed them. Just like going Seals with like Nib in hand just feels insane because you don't even have to activate the Seals to like play around Thrust and Talons. You can just nib your Seals, and like a lot of times it got Imperm that had Nib in hand, and I'm like, okay, play. And I just nibbed them. My seal triggers, and I'm like, I just put, like, if you want to talent me now, sure. My magma
Neg
resolved,
one.
my nib resolved. My opponents would be sick. So, like, these are the only good ones. Like, this card's, like, generic. Just in case, like, I played against the Brander, the Chimera deck, this card, like, is really strong versus them. It's decent versus the Unchained deck. And at least trades with one of their trap cards, which is what you need. You just want to make their board weaker because the deck has a lot of pushes. Besides that, I don't think the other hand traps are good. Droll's, like, so hit or miss.
What was your end board with Nib and Ravine, actually? They were against each other.
Oh.
Remember the finals? Yeah, what was the end board?
Oh, I drew Nib, pitched Ravine. I don't remember what I did.
But it was the insane end board.
Nah, this is top 4.
It was top 4, game 1. I went
Very
Ravine,
serious.
pitched
Yeah,
Nib.
anti-spell, yeah.
No.
Anti-spell.
That was game 3. Game 1, I went Ravine, pitched Nib, and I
So you
ended.
did this multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
It was every piece right there.
I mean, yeah, it's a light monster. It's a combo piece.
A Ravine did.
Yeah, so you pitch it so you can summon the Black Dragon, you hard draw. And then you also search Tracer, so like now you have 3 bodies, and then you just start comboing, and then if you have a Bistio, now like the world is your oyster, so like when you do that, you just end on like Seal, like Borderland, you end on Savage, you can put Disbatter in the graveyard, so you have the spell face up, and like, now what is your opponent gonna do? You just have insane follow-up. They're gonna pass turn, you're gonna have 6 cards in hand again, and it's like, you go first again with the field. Insane. And then 2 talents, this card's crazy, I think it's the card of the format. I didn't want to play 3 because not a lot of people were playing hand traps like I expected, so it wasn't the best going first into a lot of matchups, but it's really, really strong going second. But since you're going second, you can afford to play 2 of them because you have the 6 card to draw. And then the last like tech card, 3 Book of Eclipse. Shout out to Pack for telling me to put this in. I was playing Valor before, but Valor seems so low impact. And then this card just helped a lot of the like weird matchups where like stopping the DDD, so you can summon your Bistios is important. Obviously stopping Arise Heart is really important. And then stopping Noir is big. So like this card became really strong, and then you just want a card that can hit multiple monsters, so you don't want to play Book of Moon. So 45 cards in the main deck, perfect number. I really don't think I'd change any card in the main deck.
Yeah, that number 45 speaks to this.
Just for Dragon League, guys.
Yeah.
Just for Dragon Link, it's literally just like you don't
There's
want to
very
draw.
few
You don't
decks-
want to draw Beast. You don't want
There's
to draw
very
Regain,
few
you don't want
decks
to draw
like
the boot. You
there's a
don't wanna
lot of
draw the
awkward
Regain.
cards, so like they're not necessarily bricks. So like this card I consider like a brick because you don't do anything terrible. But like this
Regain
card's
is
like an
nice.
engine
Regain's that,
card.
yeah. Regain's
Like
outside, yeah.
this card also like works if you can like already play. So like
Yeah.
this one kind of allows you to play, but it's a neg 1 and like you get it in your combo. So like you don't want to open it, but it can allow you to play. And then like
use mine too.
sometimes, but like,
Regain's, like, the worst one.
if it allows you to play, it doesn't matter. Like if I
Regain
can
is
play.
literally the worst
Yeah,
one.
that's all I care.
Nah, Ravine's not the worst
I
one. The
do
worst one in my
hate
opinion is
Ravine.
Boot, because Boot's always free. Like Ravine sometimes just lets you play and like not having to waste a dragon to make Romulus is also like sometimes nice.
I think the field spells are just the worst ones.
Yeah, but Ravine's
The field
definitely the
spells are
best
the
of all
worst
of
ones.
them.
Yeah, because it gets your combo going. Like.
Yeah, so it at least like puts fuel in the graveyard for you to at least Bistio, because like some of your brick hands are when you draw too many of them. So,
Yeah, boot is the worst.
2 tokens for when
That's
you nib
right.
your opponent or when they try to like zone lock you. So Synchros, Savage, Baron, Disbatter, Chaos Angel. Not a lot of people play this card. I don't know why. It's broken. Like versus a lot of decks, you just summon like 2 tower-like cards, and they struggle to summon it or out them. This card's really strong because this deck struggles to have spot removal, like I said earlier. It's like the trap and this are really the only cards that do that, and like Levianeer. So like you kind of need to manage those. Like resources important, so you can play in like the grind game. Luckily, I didn't play against a lot of trap decks, so it didn't come up as much. That's it for the Synchros, and then this is why this deck doesn't lose to D-Barrier, and I wanted to play it. You play a lot of blue cards, so we have 1 Pisty, 1 Striker, Link 1s. Wish we could play more of this. Wish we could play this brother, but we can't.
This one needs to go too. What do you mean?
We can't play Aggravate.
Yeah,
I'll never.
yeah.
We're never arguing for that
We lost
one.
that tomorrow,
2 seal. You can argue for 1 seal. The second seal came up a couple times. So it was nice to have in my extra deck. The other cards you could argue for, like not being in the deck, is IP. So like these 2 cards are definitely, you can definitely cut them. We were testing other cards in the extra deck, like Coral Sword, which came out.
Maybe Underworld Goddess.
Underworld Goddess is also another card. Just to be able to. Some people were playing a Tomb and like Zeus. So like these could really be other cards, but I enjoyed like them being link monsters. So like I can just end my board like seal IP and then just set Book of Eclipse, and like my opponent just struggles to beat all of those. So like I really thought like IP was good. Like I don't think I actually resolved its effect, but it just being on the field like won me the game.
And it got baited so many times for us to boil in though.
Oh well, yeah, that like and Dark, like you'll see like we play Romulus and Dark as like other Link 2. So like Link 2s are like actually like really important in this deck to like bait out disruptions, because you go Link 2, summon a Pisty, and then go into triple burst. So like you can do your Pisty combo, which gets you to Borderland every time. So like you want all your link 2s, and like depending on the situation, sometimes you want to use dark because your opponent has a dark in the graveyard. So like it gives you a free extender. So like going through your body, you don't have to use your tracer early. So like you can still end on seals, which is really important because seals gives you additional follow up besides like your magma resolving on your own turn.
Can we slow it down again?
Sorry, you can't understand.
I
It's
can
been a long
understand.
day.
I'm saying it for the people.
For the people can watch it at half speed.
We play one unicorn and one access code. More spot removal. It's harder to get to these while you're comboing unless you're just going for game and they don't have as many disruptions. But like you need these to help clear boards. Like the dragon cards themselves don't have a lot of spot removal. So like you need to play the generic ones then. Forland. This card's crazy. Every time someone looked at my extra deck with the Cashier card, they banished this because it's that broken.
Yeah, I'd be scared
and
of
then
it
it
too.
didn't matter. So that's it for the extra deck. And then the side deck, one Phantasme. So like this card seems a little awkward. It's a dragon and it's an extender. Technically, you can search it off of Magnuma when you Magnuma the Unchained deck, and then you can activate it on your own turn when your opponent uses Solar Rage. You can draw into more extenders, or you can use it on your opponent's turn when they summon the Solar Rage to try and draw into Nib and fix your hand.
Let's be honest. How many times do you summon that card?
I never drew it.
So 0 times.
I never drew it.
It's searchable. It's searchable. Let him have
It
it.
is searchable.
Let him have it.
I'm telling you what it can do. 3 Kaiju. Because of Kamal, we have to respect the Pearly deck, and because of Hani, we have to respect the Pearly deck, and because
20
of Chris,
material
we
Nord.
have to respect the Pearly deck. So
20 material Nord.
you need to play Kaijus. And this card, in my opinion, is better than Kurakan in this deck because you need a light or a dark sometimes to pitch off Chaos Space, or sometimes you can Kaiju them, summon your own Kaiju, which happened in testing to make a dark. So. Then the last talents, because like I said, I think this card's really good, especially going second, so I want to have all 3 of them in my deck for the most part. I wanted to respect back row, especially since we're in South America. I didn't know if we would run into random back row decks or just floodgate decks. So
I think floods are just pretty prominent, like in general. Like I don't.
especially there can only be one was used.
Yeah.
In the finals.
I saw Tikaboo a lot.
So it's nice just having these cards. It was really good versus the cash deck. It just won me a matchup where like I got shifted, I like set one and passed, and then like was able to stop my opponent from killing me because I was able to make him play around Nib to go into the battle phase, try and kill me, use the Bistio to survive, and then he cleared my field, Lightning Storm 5 back row, his Arise Heart had got Nib the last turn, and then I just won the game. So, really, really strong. Then I think this one was the best card in my deck, at least in the side deck, XYZ Encore. I don't know why people haven't been playing this, especially in the Dragon deck. It's really good versus Arise Heart. They can't respond to it, so Judgment, Cross Out, Lance, doesn't matter. Especially for cross out, they're not going to have this. It's really good versus the Pearly deck for the same reason. If they play Judgment or if they play cross out, this card beats it. And since it's the Dragon deck and can put up 8k, I stop them from drawing their 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, and then let them just add back 3 spells that do nothing on my turn. I can push for game and kill them. And it's important versus the cast matchup that it banishes those materials that are equipped with it, so they don't get like Garura Draw or the Skull Knight going to the graveyard, which is a really cool interaction with this card specifically. So like they don't get their monsters summoned back. Then 3 anti-spell.
MVP.
This card, crazy. It's just anti-spell. Your opponent can't use spells. Spells are like the best cards in the game. Even though my deck doesn't play a bunch of them, the spells it does play are what win me the game. And then Starlight. Never summoned it. Sided it in once. That's pretty much it.
Anything else you want to say before we send off?
I don't know. Shout outs to everyone in this room for believing in me.
Let's go. One more shout out.
Sleep. YCS champion with Dragon League, right? The first one?
Yeah.
Dragon
You know
Link.
that, yeah?
First YCS champion with Pearly coming next. Yo, we're gonna put his profile up, baby.
First one, baby.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Let's go, Ruben.